Welcome to All Things Retreat podcast. I'm Holly Porter, your host and CEO of Retreat R&R. With over 25 years of experience in designing transformative retreats, I'm here to share insights and inspiration to help you create extraordinary experiences. Whether you're a pro or just starting out, you'll find valuable ideas here. Enjoy the ride. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show today. We're going to be talking about something of one of the seven wonders of the world. And I have my guest, Laura Diaz. She's an adventurous and gloriously map-obsessed entrepreneur. As a child, she dreamt of cobblestone streets. Now she walks them with her whole heart. Laura creates fabulous retreats in the Sacred Valley of Peru. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. This will be a treat. Seven wonders of the world. Gosh, that's pretty amazing that you live in one of those. How long have you been there?
I've been living in Peru for 8 years.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, take us back.
But
When?
I don't live in Machu Picchu.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true.
I did live there for a while. But...
Okay. Fair enough. Well, take us back. When did you first realize that your maps just weren't just paper to you, but they were your calling?
Well, I think I've always known that. I've always loved, just dreaming about where I would go. The world is so big. How will I get everywhere? So that's just been, I don't remember a time when I wasn't dreaming about being somewhere else.
Well, when did you decide? It's been 8 years that you've lived there, but like, what was the moment you knew this place is my home?
Well, once I started the business here, I don't know if you want me to tell that story of how we started. I could do that, but
yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I was selling jewelry from Ecuador and Colombia, just trying to support my travel habit. And I came across alpaca products, so I thought I would come to Peru, which is the Mecca of alpaca. And I hired a guy to be my translator for business, and he was a guide. So he said, I've got this group of 17 people going on a 4-day hike to Machu Picchu. You should come along. And so I did. And he was funny, and he was super knowledgeable. Everybody felt safe. And so I asked him, what do you make for this 4-day trip through the jungle with 17 people? And he said, about $100. And I, just out of my mouth came, well, we should change that. We should start a business. And so that's what we did. So I've been pretty much calling this home since then.
So how has living in the Sacred Valley shaped you, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a human?
Oh man, I love being challenged in so many ways about my thoughts. I mean, and that's one of the things with retreats too that I think is such a catalyst for change, is the change of perspective that you have when you come somewhere where the food is different and the language is different and the people think so differently than you, but yet you're still connected as people. I mean, you realize how the same and how different we are, but there's just such a different perspective. And I just love that challenge all the time.
For sure.
Challenging the way I think.
Well, Peru is one country that I have not been to yet, but for those of us that have not been to Peru, what would you describe the energy of the Sacred Valley? So let's do one word, how you describe it, and then maybe in one story.
The energy of the Sacred Valley in one word, I would say just general. You know what I mean? There's just a general good feeling. And in a story, to explain the energy of the Sacred Valley in a story, I don't know that I can kind of capsulize it into a story, but one of the things that happens when you have a place that's very energetic like that, you get a certain type of people that come. For instance, we hold our retreats in Pisac, and the joke is that you can't throw a rock without hitting a shaman or a yoga instructor. So it kind of brings out some people that maybe dilute the value and the genuine piece of it. I was hiking during COVID. I was hiking with some locals, and they were saying, "Oh man, the energy's coming back because all the tourists are gone." So I think that's one of the things that you have to look at, and we try to really do this: is go to places that still actually have the energy. I mean, Machu Picchu is great, but 6,000 people a day go through there taking selfies. The energy isn't honored. The energy isn't. You have to connect with that. And so I think that I would say that there's a general energy here in the Sacred Valley, but you have to choose to connect to it.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I could see because everybody carries their own energy with them. 6,000 a day. I can't imagine that's a lot of people. And
Well,
you have to have,
during the high season, there's a
right,
lot of
but
people.
you have to have tickets to go, right? You have to get
Right,
those ahead of time.
you have to have tickets, and you're required to have a guide.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
tickets sell out really early. So a lot of people, if you think you're going to just come during, especially during the high season, June, July, and August, if you think you're going to come and get tickets, that's probably not going to happen. When I was
Wow.
living in Machu Picchu with the town, they have an office there that says tickets, and every day there would be this huge line out from the office, and then at whatever hour they ran out of tickets, it would close, and you'd have all these people that were here in the town wanting to get up to the sanctuary and just didn't get tickets. Yeah. Yeah, or
Plan
if you know
ahead.
someone, I mean, there's always tickets available. You just have to know where to get them. And we can always get tickets
I
because,
mean,
it's just like concert tickets. There's somebody buys the bunch of
sure.
them and you go to whatever that company is and you can get
Yeah.
them. But
It's
yeah, so
interesting that it goes back to me. I just think common sense isn't common sometimes. And I mean, if you're going to go to another country, to one of the seven wonders of the world, my first thought would be I need to make sure I can get a ticket. I think I'd want my ticket before I bought my plane ticket, right?
right,
It's funny
right.
how
But you never
people
know,
don't know.
when you're traveling, things happen. Maybe
Yeah, it's
you don't
true.
know what day you're going to be there. You don't know,
Yeah.
sometimes some people travel a little more freely and sometimes people travel a little more planned. So it just,
Well, and people get sick and then they can't use their ticket. I mean, there's always ways, right?
yeah, yeah. If you buy it too early and you don't get there out for some reason, yeah.
Because can you change the dates?
You can. It's a little different. It's a little difficult to do, but it's possible.
Okay.
I'm sure you have to pay a big fee.
I'm curious what they charge to go to Machu Picchu.
It depends. As you get closer to the date that you want your tickets, they get more expensive because
Yeah,
as the number of tickets gets there. So the later you buy them, the more expensive they
sure.
are. Yeah.
Okay. So what's a range?
I don't know. They might be around $70, I want to say right now, but I'm not sure because we don't buy them. We don't buy
Right.
like a single ticket like that.
Not that way. Yeah, for sure. Well, so you've turned your love of a place that you love into your business. What was the bridge between traveling for joy that you were doing before and creating these retreats with intention?
Well, I love it because now I can say I have a purpose in my traveling. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
Yeah,
you just it's kind of nice to have a reason to be here. It's kind of nice to have all those interactions with everybody that I have to have interactions with to put on a retreat. So I have, I'm more involved, or I guess in the community, or
yeah,
more. I have more than just a tourist connection. So I love that.
for sure. Yeah. Well, if you were a retreat leader listening to this podcast, and you were, gosh, I hadn't thought about doing a retreat in Peru. Somebody's listening thinking that. What would you say makes the Sacred Valley fundamentally different as a retreat versus held anywhere else in the world? What would you say?
Well, I think as a retreat leader, a really great thing to think about is that there is an energy here in the Sacred Valley, and people know that. So when
Yeah.
people come, they're coming with the idea that something's going to happen. I'm going here. You know what I mean? So they already come with this intention or this feeling like this is really going to be great. This is really going to change my life. Something good is going to happen here. And it does. I always tell people the Sacred Valley's got something for you. You probably don't know what it is, and that's
Yeah.
part of the journey. But that's so when you bring a group of people and you're a coach or a teacher, it's really nice to be able to bring them with them coming with that mindset already that this is going to be life changing.
Yeah. I love that. And do you help the retreat leader do that, or do you mostly educate the retreat leader and then let them handle their people? How does that work with what you do?
Well, we handle all of the logistics. So when you're here, you're never going to be concerned that the van is 5 minutes late or where's the chef or anything
Yeah.
like that. You're gonna, we take care of all of that and do it as flawlessly as possible. Of course, it is Peru, so off plan is part of the plan.
Yeah. That
And
happens.
but yeah, so they can come and they can just come and shine, and we'll make sure they have the tech setup that they need, or whatever it is that they want to do. We love to do kind of out of the box things with people.
Yeah.
We do this for one thing. We started with this guy that had this wanted to do something different, so we started this. this dinner theater type thing where we have this lunch up on the at this site overlooking the valley, and everybody comes and the king and the queen eat with us, and we do this whole theater thing with them, and they get this crown. It's just really cool. So that's something different. So we're always willing to. I work with a guy. His name is Carlos. He's half Quechua. He's lived here his whole life. He's been guiding for over 20 years, and he's always like, if I say, "Hey, do you think we could?" He'll say, "Yes." You.
I
He
love it.
loves, I think that he needs some kind, you know what I mean? Like he likes to get out of the box. So he loves to make anything happen. Whatever someone wants to do, we come up with some interesting things to make their retreat unique and memorable.
That's awesome. Well, it's nice to be creative for sure. For you, was there a moment where maybe early on when you started doing this where you thought like, what am I doing? And what kept you going to keep doing this, to know this was what you wanted?
A moment, yeah. Many moments. We started just before COVID, or we had maybe been in business like so. Everything that we had worked for and got that year was all canceled due to COVID. That was a fiasco. That was really hard. Um, I never have run a retreat business before, you know what I mean? So I had to learn everything, which was good because I came up with my own system and I came up with the system that works really well for us. But
Sure.
it wasn't easy to do. You know, you have a lot of I don't want to say failures, but a lot of learning experiences for sure. And
Yeah.
I'm really a positive person, so I'm always like, ah, what could go wrong? This is going to be fine. And then
Yeah.
it's just thing after thing after thing that you have to learn and work out. So yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a long road for sure.
Well, with people that come there, you probably get feedback, I'm sure, after. And so, what kind of transformations do you hear about most often in people who come to Peru for the first time?
Oh, innumerable. You know, it's just it's that's kind of a hard question to answer. It's different for everybody and it's such a personal thing that I guess I can't really, but they're all just very, very happy that they came. We haven't had anybody that said, "Oh, I wish I went to come on this retreat," ever.
Right.
People are just, and maybe I don't know that they can even, you know, because we always do recordings of people at the end of the retreat and ask them, and they all
Sure.
are very happy. But I think it's sometimes difficult to explain those things. I think sometimes you need time to process when you get home. But another guy that was just here was talking about how you know, he just really needed to, like, one of the things that happened in the retreat is he said something to me. I don't even remember what it was. But then later he came back and he was like, I am so sorry I said that. I never should have said that. I am just, and I'm like, I don't even remember what you said. Like, it wasn't even, but he internally knew that that wasn't how he wanted to speak to someone. Like I said, I didn't even notice it. I didn't think of it as, you know, I didn't
Right.
remember it. But for him, he had this internal thing where he said, "Oh, that's not how I want to," you know, and it came up in him, and he was kind of, you know, how you go through that stage of self-loathing kind of when you do
Yeah.
something that you really don't like that you did. But so he was kind of like that, and so he had a little breakthrough there. Just people, and you know, a lot of that also happens. I'm not the teacher, I'm not the
Right.
thought leader, so a lot of that happens in their sessions that I may not even know about. I just know that, you know, when someone is going through something like that, how their faces change and their demeanor changes, and you can just tell something amazing is happening.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so amazing when you can see that. That's what I love about retreats in general is you see a transformation in someone in such a short period of time. And like I would use two examples for myself. Like one of my favorite jobs I ever had, I was just graduating from high school and I was delivering flowers. What a great job, because even if the people getting the flowers didn't want them from whoever was sending them, I didn't know that until I left, right? They didn't know who sent them until they opened that card. So everybody had joy and they were just like, just that look on their face was like surprised. And that was a fun job. And there was another example I was going to think of that. Oh, I had a hair salon for 20 years and did hair. And it was like in a 2 hour appointment, you could change someone's whole look that quick. And so to me, it's like transformation is like huge, and retreats do that too. And so, yeah, and then you're seeing them, if you're not spending all the, time with them because you're just doing the concierge piece of it, you're seeing them before, during, and after. So you get to almost see the change, I would think, more than the actual retreat leader. I don't know, but interesting.
Yeah,
Love it.
and speaking of your hairdresser, one thing that I think about at times of how I want to be is that I used to go to my hairdresser And I would come in, I would sit in the chair, we would talk, we would chat, we would, you know what I mean? I would pay, I would leave, and we never once talked about my hair. You know,
Oh,
she knew
funny.
what looked good
She would
on
just,
me.
you let her
Yes,
do whatever.
because she knew what looked good on me. She knew me personally as a, you know what I mean, what my personality was, and I always loved it. And I just was always impressed by that because she was the expert. I
Yep.
didn't have to say, oh, a little shorter in the back. I don't know if I like her being the expert because however it turns out, it's not my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I'm the
Yeah.
one, she's the
Yeah.
one stepping in as the expert, and I can just sit there and know it's going to look good at the end. And I don't even have to, you know, and I'm not saying that people don't have input with retreats,
Yeah.
but you can come here like that. We're the experts. We're going to make it
Yep.
great. We know, you know, you don't have to be concerned about any of that because we're going to make it happen.
That's
And of
right.
course you can put inputs. Of course, you know what I mean? Like I said, we love to do out of the box things with people,
Yeah.
but you can really come and know, okay, I don't have to worry about all those little details. I don't have to even think of those. I can just be, you know, and then as the retreat leader, you know, you should have some fun too. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
it
Yeah.
should be where you're doing your teaching, you're doing your sessions, whatever you're doing, and then you're having fun with the people and you're not having to be concerned with anything else.
Yeah. Stay in your expertise and let you do your expertise.
Yeah,
So,
exactly, exactly.
yeah. Can you think of a retreat moment, even though you're not like actually you're over the retreats, but can you think of like something you've witnessed or something that just gave you chills when you think about it? A story there? If not, that's fine. I just was curious.
Yeah, no, there was a guy just in the last retreat that came that he was before the retreat. I probably had, I don't know, 20 emails with this guy. Whatever. He was asking me this and asking me that. And that's fine. That's great. You know, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
But when he came, he said at the end of the retreat, he said, "You know, I was so afraid to come here. I don't speak Spanish. I've never been out of the United States. I wasn't, you know," he said, "but my daughter wanted to come and I couldn't let
Right.
my daughter down. So I had to come." And he said, "And this has just been the most
Oh,
amazing experience, you know," and it was just to provide that safety for people. There is a lot of people that are me, I'll go anywhere. You know what I mean? I love to
yeah.
travel. I don't have to know the language.
But
I'll
people
be
are
there,
afraid.
whatever.
Yeah.
But some people aren't like that. You know,
Mm-mm.
some people don't get to have that experience because they're too afraid or whatever it is in them that doesn't have that call to another culture. And so I really, really love getting to expose people to that because it's such a great thing. And if you're not the kind of person that's just wanting to get out there and do that, you still get to have that same experience of enjoying another culture. And that, you know, he was just so amazed by all the things he experienced. And it was just so great that someone that never would have left the country otherwise, you know,
Yeah.
came because his daughter wanted to come and it turned out amazing for him. So that's always really great.
And it taught him he can do hard things, fearful things, maybe.
But we didn't make, the thing is, he learned that it wasn't hard, you know?
Yeah, yeah, it made it easy. Well, sometimes it's just taking that first step and surrendering that you need help. You
Yeah,
need to
he got
let
free that
go.
week. He got free
I
of a
love
lot of
that.
things that it was really fun to watch. He was such a nice guy and such a good guy and such a good dad to his daughter, you know, so it was fun to see him so happy with his choice.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, what would you say by doing your concierge service with these, groups of retreat leaders and corporate people, services that we offer? What problems do you think you're solving that they don't even know they have?
Well, people want to do a retreat and an international retreat, but how are you going to do that? I honestly don't see how anyone could say, I'm going to go to this other country, plan this retreat, and do it, unless you're going to get a five-star hotel and stay there for the week. I think
Yeah,
it would be pretty much impossible, and you would be crazy the whole time you're here, and then everything would go wrong, and your reputation would be ruined. You know, if nothing else, you're going to waste massive amount of hours trying to figure everything out.
yeah, that really was what my next question was, the whole international. Like, how do you help them avoid all those mistakes? Is you offer the services that's done for you, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can call us up, we'll have a conversation, we'll get your itinerary together, we'll do, you know, we do a media kit, so you have a way to get everything out. We're here every step of the way. But yeah, to take hours and hours and hours of your time and then not know that it's going to go right. That's why I just spoke with a lady the other day. She's like, I've got 100 people on my wait list for a retreat. But then I started planning it and I said, forget this. You know, she realized it was a lot too. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. And I mean, my company offers just concierge services too, all over anywhere they want to go. And it's a lot of work. And so people are wise to get that. off their plate so that they can focus on the retreat building. And part of that's just part of your business plan. You just make it part of your business plan.
Yeah. What's the value of your time? If
Yeah,
you have,
absolutely.
80 hours to plan something, or
so any last thoughts you want to leave with our listeners?
well, come to Peru for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would say get out there. And if you're nervous about traveling, just do something small each day that gets you out of your routine, because that's what keeps your imagination going. That's what keeps your creativity flowing, is when you get out of your routine. And so we'd like to get you out of your routine in a big way, but on that path, get out of your routine in little ways and you'll see your life change.
I love that. That's great. We'll leave all your contact information in the show notes that they can, but what is the best way they can get a hold of you if they want to contact you?
I am Laura at retreatsandtoursperu.com.
Okay.
That's my email. And other than that, retreatsandtoursperu.com.
Okay. We'll make sure that's in the show notes and people can find you there. And thank you so much for sharing the Peru journey today. I think it's something, that we haven't done before. And if you're listening to this show and you're thinking about Peru, then go get a hold of Laura, because she's got it figured out. And she's probably one of the most respected ones there to go through. For sure. Okay.
All right.
Well, till next time.
Bye
for now.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of All Things Retreat. We hope you're leaving with new ideas, fresh inspiration, and the motivation to take your retreats to the next level. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It helps us grow and reach more retreat leaders like you. And if you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hello, send us an email at info@weretreatrnr.com. Follow us on social media to stay connected and catch all the latest updates. Until next time, remember, great retreats start with great intentions. Let's make them extraordinary, one step at a time. Thinking about hosting a retreat? Before you dive in, let's make sure you're really ready. Grab your free Are You Retreat Ready checklist and find out if you've got everything in place, from your purpose and pricing to your audience and agenda. Don't guess. Get clear. This quick checklist will show you exactly where you stand and what you need to make your retreat a success. Click the link below in the show notes to grab your gift and take the first step toward hosting with confidence.